We nailed 3 table bonuses in a row using the same data analysis that we use in these best captain videos. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a beat. The shortlist is very competitive this game week. Palmer's had 4 blanks in his last 5 matches, but he does get to face Southampton at home. Salah's on fire as usual, but his fixture is more difficult against Newcastle at home. And Bruno Fernandes is a differential option with a favourable fixture against Ipswich at home. You could also go for Bowen. He looks like he's going to be on penalty duties. That's because Paqueta's out injured. But the reason Bruno got on the shortlist over Bowen is if you go on Fantasy Football Scout, they've got access to StatsBomb Underline Stat, which is renowned as the best data model in the world for underlying stats in football data. Premier League teams use it. That's for non-penalty expected goals and expected assists. Bruno's slightly ahead of Bowen on both metrics. Starting with the non-penalty stats per 90 minutes for this season, Salah's way ahead on the return points and he's still quite far ahead on the expected points. Palmer's cemented in second place and Bruno's in last place, who's quite far behind both players, especially Salah. The set pieces have thrown me off a bit this game week. Bruno apparently is not 100% nailed on penalties. He's almost as good as with 94%, but that 6% chance is actually going to Xerxes. It's FPL Review that's put this down. Now I'm not sure why that is the case. I do try to keep an open mind. My opinion is that he's nailed on penalties, just like Salah and Palmer are, but I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind that. He scored 5 and missed 1, which is a good conversion rate to be fair, but it's still not as good as Bruno's, and this is based on a larger sample size. But then at the same time, you could try to keep an open mind that the best penalty taker that's ever lived might have possibly had 5 goals and 1 miss when he was younger. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but from my perspective, I would have said Bruno's 100% nailed on penalties, but that could be black and white thinking. Obviously 94% is still very high. As for free kicks and corners, Bruno and Palmer are the main men on them for their respective clubs. They're the set piece specialists on direct free kicks, indirect free kicks and corners. Salah does have an occasional chance of taking a direct free kick, but that is very rare. If we were to assume that these penalty probabilities were accurate, I would still prefer Bruno's over Salah's. At the 6% sacrifice, you do get the direct free kicks, indirect free kicks and corners. Bruno's anytime return odds are decent this game week. He's more likely to return than not, but on those anytime return odds, he trails Salah by 9%, who trails Palmer by 10%. That's because Palmer's got the highest anytime goal scorer odds and the highest anytime assister odds. He's only got a 23% chance of blanking, despite him blanking in 4 of the last 5 fixtures. Chelsea's talisman leads by quite a margin on the points projections as well. He's on 9.2 on FPL Review. He's not quite as far ahead on Fantasy Football Fix, but he's still got a tasty figure of 8.5. His odds and points projections are so promising because he faces that Southampton defence. They've got the worst expected goals conceded figure in the whole league, along with the most goals conceded as well. Newcastle are twice as likely to keep a clean sheet than them, and they face the best attack in the league, and Ipswich are almost 3 times as likely against United. Let's not ignore the fact that Ipswich's defence is almost as bad as Southampton's. That suits Bruno, along with him having the most rest days, but that's too little too late for me. So he's my third favourite option, and I'd say Bowen's roughly about the same in third place. So it's Salah versus Palmer, form versus fixture. Palmer's got the easier fixture, but do we really want to back a player that's got 4 blanks in his last 5 matches? Well, I really like his points projections. It's not even close on there. That's the same for the odds as well, and the opponents that he's facing. I wouldn't go off recency bias with Palmer. Of course, he's a top player, and he is going to get attacking returns, but I can understand why people will pick Salah, because he's been more reliable for longer this season, but it's all about this game week in isolation, and looking at the fixtures, I think the best captain this game week is Palmer. In my team selection video, I'm going to be discussing chip strategy, the best transfers, and the best fixtures. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.